The Replacement Clause. Chapter 1. Arrested Christmas. Christmas morning dawned cold and bright, the kind of day that should inspire joy and warmth in hearts young and old. However, for Santa Claus, it began in a completely different manner. Standing bewildered on a suburban lawn, his hands cuffed behind his back, Santa was encircled by flashing red and blue lights and a dozen skeptical police officers who clearly couldn't wrap their minds around his outlandish claim. "You expect us to believe you're Santa Claus?" one officer asked, looking incredulous as he eyed the man in the iconic red suit, complete with white fur trim and a rosy-cheeked visage. Santa sighed deeply, his rounded belly shaking, not with laughter or merriment, but with exasperation. "I told you. I was out delivering presents when your security system went off. Save it for the judge," the officer interrupted, his tone dismissive. As the news of Santa's arrest quickly spread through town like wildfire, it ignited a frenzy of media coverage. By noon, every news channel showcased dramatic footage of Santa being led into the police station, handcuffed and looking bewildered. The charges against him were severe: breaking and entering, illegal sleigh parking, and even wildlife endangerment for keeping unregistered reindeer. The headline screamed mockingly, and in homes across America, children and adults alike were left questioning the very essence of the holiday spirit. Chapter 2. A Forgotten Toymaker. Meanwhile, in a dimly lit alley of the city, a man named Curtis Jones huddled against a cold, metal dumpster, seeking solace in the sparse warmth his tattered coat provided. Once a highly skilled toymaker, Curtis had fallen on hard times following a devastating fire that not only destroyed his cherished workshop but also claimed the lives of his beloved family. Life had been particularly cruel since that fateful day, leaving him without a home and enveloped in bitterness and despair. Cradling a lukewarm cup of coffee offered by a compassionate stranger, he took a moment to relish the warmth. Just then, a sudden rustle in the shadows startled him. Out of nowhere, a tiny figure clad in vibrant red and green tumbled into view. "Curtis Jones," the figure squeaked. It was an elf, no taller than a toddler, with sparkling eyes and a clipboard in hand, radiating an energy that contrasted sharply with Curtis's gloom. "What the?" Curtis gasped, struggling to comprehend the unusual situation as he instinctively took a step back. Yet, the elf approached him with an air of confidence. "Congratulations! You've been selected under the Replacement Clause to fill in for Santa Claus." "Replacement what?" Curtis responded, incredulity washing over him. The elf, introducing himself as Tinsel, quickly explained. Santa's magical contract allowed for a human backup in emergencies, and despite Curtis's current circumstances, he had been chosen for his once great craftsmanship and a deep, albeit hidden, understanding of the true spirit of Christmas. "You've got the wrong guy," Curtis muttered, shaking his head in disbelief. "Listen, this isn't just about you," Tinsel snapped, his tone a mix of urgency and frustration. "It's about saving Christmas. You have to step up and stop wallowing in self-pity." Chapter 3. A Chaotic North Pole. With a flick of his wrist, Tinsel transported Curtis to the North Pole, where a scene of absolute chaos unfolded before him. The workshop buzzed with frenetic energy, elves busily fulfilling tasks as toys whizzed off conveyor belts, and reindeer stomped impatiently in their stalls. The air was filled with the sounds of laughter intertwined with the clattering of toys. "Who's this guy?" an elf muttered as Curtis stumbled into the hustle and bustle, bewildered by the whirlwind of activity. "Your new Santa," Tinsel announced with a flourish. The room fell into an almost comical silence before erupting into laughter, the sound ringing in Curtis's ears. He felt his face heat with embarrassment, acutely aware that he was far from the festive figure expected to embody Christmas joy, clad instead in a ragged coat and mismatched gloves that had seen better days. As Curtis attempted to step into Santa's oversized shoes, his efforts were comically disastrous. He struggled to handle the sleigh, almost crashing into a glittering glacier with a panicked shout. When he presented his toy designs, the elves glanced at each other in disbelief. While his ideas were imaginative, they were far from functional. "What if we focused on online shopping?" he suggested hesitantly, only to be met with scandalized gasps from the elves who stared as if he had suggested striking Christmas from the calendar entirely. Despite these setbacks, Curtis began to observe that the elves were not merely magical, they were also incredibly hardworking and deeply committed to their purpose. Slowly but surely, their enthusiasm began to rub off on him, igniting a flicker of determination within. Chapter 4: Santa Behind Bars. Meanwhile, as chaos reigned in the North Pole, Santa found himself surprisingly adapting well to life behind bars. He quickly became a favorite among the inmates, leading them in Christmas carols and organizing a makeshift gift exchange program that brought joy to the dreary confines of the jail. Yet, buried beneath his jolly demeanor, Santa harbored a growing sense of worry. His lawyer, a dedicated yet overworked public defender named Molly Price, was diligently piecing together a darker plot. She had uncovered evidence suggesting that a corporate giant, Holiday Co., had orchestrated Santa's arrest to monopolize Christmas, aiming to replace the beloved holiday with their own brand of cold, commercialized cheer. "We're not just fighting for you," Molly told Santa during one of their meetings, determination evident in her voice. "We're fighting for the very essence of what Christmas stands for: kindness, generosity, and love." Chapter 5: Curtis Finds His Purpose. Curtis experienced a profound turning point during a trial run for Christmas deliveries. His sleigh landed gently near a local shelter, where he encountered a young girl clutching a worn, faded stuffed animal. The moment their eyes met, her face lit up with pure delight as Curtis handed her a beautifully wrapped new doll. "Santa didn't forget me," she whispered, her voice filled with awe as she hugged the toy tightly to her chest. That moment struck Curtis like lightning. For the first time in years, he felt a flicker of hope ignite within him, a sense of purpose that had long been buried under layers of despair. "I'm not just delivering toys," he realized, his heart swelling with understanding. "I'm delivering what people need most." From that day forward, he began to approach his role differently. Instead of merely focusing on toys, he incorporated warm blankets, heartfelt letters of encouragement, and practical gifts that would genuinely help those in need. The elves, inspired by Curtis's change in perspective, started re-evaluating their own mission, infusing their efforts with a deeper meaning. 6. The Trial of Christmas. Santa's trial quickly morphed into a sensational media circus, drawing attention from far and wide. Molly passionately presented undeniable evidence of Holiday Co.'s conspiracy, creating a vivid picture of corporate greed aiming to crush the true meaning of Christmas beneath their financially-driven agenda. As the trial approached its nail-biting climax, Curtis burst into the crowded courtroom, decked out in his full Santa regalia, and flanked by a band of spirited elves and spirited reindeer. His dramatic entrance silenced the room, every head in the courtroom turning to him in shocked silence. "He's the real deal," Curtis declared with palpable conviction, gesturing dramatically toward Santa seated at the plaintiff's table. But even if he wasn't, Christmas isn't about one man. It's about hope, kindness, and the heartfelt belief that together we can make the world a little better. Hearing those words resonate through the courtroom, the jury was visibly moved, and ultimately, they acquitted Santa, dismissing all charges against him. Chapter 7: A New Kind of Christmas. With Santa reinstated and the holiday spirit reignited, Curtis stepped into his new role as Santa's official backup. Together, they redefined what Christmas meant, not merely a holiday marked by gift-giving, but rather an opportunity to foster love, kindness, and community. They combined the warmth of traditional magic with Curtis's pragmatic approach, creating a vibrant celebration that truly embodied the essence of the season.
Ho, 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 ho! Merry Christmas!